What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So this is part 3 to Larry the Batman fan birthday slash Christmas special as far as these first happen. So within these accent type pitches, this is a combination of presents from Larry the Batman fan within these aspects of kind of the get up of Christmas 2025 leftovers, birthday of mine that happens in May, and then Christmas of 2026 within these ordeals. So good pitches like that. Definitely check out Larry the Batman fans YouTube channel pitches like that. Some good gaming type videos and pitches like that on there. Some excellent type varieties. Within these pitches here, paying attention to some of these excellent type varieties. So one of these are some Xbox One games pitches like that with some movies thrown in. There's a lot, plenty more to get to within these. There's a lot, plenty more to get to within these aspects. There's some definite loud pack here as far as these pitching games. So one of which within these particulars is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order as far as these pitching games, excellent type varieties. Paying attention towards that. Pay attention towards the here within these aspects within the particular type fairs amongst Star Wars banging this pitch like that. Yeah, just that the after effect. Star Wars has more or less been quiet since like the sequel trilogy that kind of happened within those aspects that was kind of within the tone of like the newer movies that kind of came out like the ones in the 2010s pitch like that was the aspect. Last Star Wars definitely continues to be dope pitches like that, Sunset Affairs, but it's kind of pitches for us. And one of the larger type things I think that's kind of taking the commonplace of like the particular fair is this kind of the particular fair amongst what the commonplace with like the memes and like the culture type fair with them pitch like that is probably like that Baby Yoda type off the particular Netflix kind of offshoot with like the Baby Yoda on there, so and stuff aspects when they pitch behind it. But it's kind of as far as saying some good type products paying attention like the video game type fairs, it's pitched like that. Yeah, seems like it's been more or less like a while since there's been like a whopping kind of Star Wars game, some stuff pitches thing of some of those type ones within aspects like that. Kind of paying attention to like a hit type one, like the Battlefront games for like the PlayStation 2 or something like that. Some type pitches amongst it, some of those good type ones, but it's good type pitches here. Good X and probably some of these type pitches looks interesting. Looks like a whopping type game, good pitch like that. The next one is a movie as far as these pitches gonna happen. This is alone as far as these pitches gonna happen with it. So within the fairs, yeah, some good excellent products. Not full bound sure. Now within these pitches, it's a little bit later in the day than I did like parts 1 and 2 within these pitches. So the glare of the lamp may not show off this particular movie's full bound, but the movie is called Alone. Pitches like that. It's a good excellent pitch as far as these formats going to happen. Me paying attention towards it. So yeah, this came out. This movie says it came out in 2020. Pitch like that. So this is amidst like the COVID year. So that pitch is kind of the aspects as far as saying paying attention to some of these surprises. Yeah, Hollywood was kind of bleeding around this particular time within these aspects. Not terribly many thinking like the commonplace as to how films were kind of happening around that particular time within these aspects as to what was going on. There weren't a ton of real seemingly movie products. Even Hollywood was kind of shut down for like a relative type fair around that time, pictures like that. So some good excellent ones in some of the product now. Probably with this having came out in 2020, they probably made it 2019, 2018 pitches like that. But it's kind of variety as far as saying some good type pitches, paying attention towards some of this type here, a good throw to kind of get kind of like paranormal kind of like movies like Paranormal Activity, some of these type of thrillers, good action pitch as far as what's probably going to happen. Some of those M. Night Shyamalan type movies get pitched like that. Good, nice banginess. There's a dope kind of certified fresh by Rotten Tomatoes on here. Good type pitches that see that they have like a brand when they have like a brand designation on like the movie type fair. It's a good type pitch. And obviously they do on the internet, but just seeing that on like an actual DVD box is interesting. Good pitch like that. Type aspect here. Now, this is a good hit type movie within these pitches, obviously within these aspects for folks. For folks having some degree of realm within like the movie type facet, this is Terminator 2 Judgment Day as far as these pitch game excellent type ones. Good, excellent staple. Now, I think I've seen Larry the Batman fan talk within the complex. I think I've seen Larry the Batman fan particularly kind of ranked like the Terminator movies. I think there's at least within the aspect like 6 or 7 of them that particularly happened since the 80s within these aspects as far as these pitches can happen. I think at least the first 2 ones he gave like A+'s pitches like that. And it's kind of right now. I definitely will defend Terminator 3 within these aspects. That's a pretty good staple. I realize within the aspects a little bit more kind of flashy and has to do more with style than substance, but it is kind of pitch as far as saying it's a good, nice one within the pitch. Christina Law, definitely on top of that, Christina Loken is a bombshell as far as this pitch comes. So just paying attention like that particular type of variety, just saying, just for that alone, just defending that move, but just kind of pitch on top of that Southern Step Fries. It had some good, nice flair. Arnold Schwarzenegger was still buff as hell, even when he was pushing 60 around that time as far as his pitching out. So it's just excellent type fries. It's some good high tech. Just basically like as dope as like Terminator was from like the 80s pitches like that. It's kind of fair getting like that variety in like the 2000s as far as those pitch can have with some good excellent fries to just being able to see what they could do with the better budget pitch like that. Pretty good staple. It's just unfortunate that they really only put out one Terminator movie per decade within those pitches up to like the 2000 type fair pitch like that. They did do there was another one in the late 2000s, and then there was one like a couple in like the 2010s or pitch like that. It was kind of all right. This is a staple here, just good classic movie. I recorded this on VHS back in the day. I remember fucking with this particular movie when they would show movies on television. They still do show movies on television, but this is the pitch. When you had a VCR, you could record some of these, and they didn't give a damn pitch like that. With some good excellent prize. I obviously have lost the VHS tape with it, so it's a good type pitch that own this particular movie. A pitch like that, good classic staple. Just the whole ensemble about this movie is just pretty stretching within these pitches. Just a good engage of a movie pitches like that. Classic type one, other hit type movies that Arnold Schwarzenegger had around this time, like True Lies, some of the stuff, Asterix, some of the stuff pitches. He was pretty predominant. Like he was pretty predominant in the 80s and 90s within these pitches. Good action Fridays. This looks like a dope one here within these aspects. This is Chris Stales as far as these pitches can have. So within the varieties, kind of looks anime like pitches like that. Kind of reminds like the dot hack type fare, some of those type varieties. It's good to kind of see what's up with like the anime world as far as these pitch game kind of within the aspect. Question if it's like a game like Final Fantasy or some of those type pitches amongst it would be some good nice flares. So it's kind of pitch. Final Fantasy obviously pretty dope within those aspects with just some further type varieties, some of those pretty good type tones of getting some hitting typeness because just the aspect of paying attention to like games like Final Fantasy and some of those type ones like the Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger type series, some of that pitches amongst some of that fares, just kind of aspects as far as paying attention to some of those type ones. Nowadays, it's very underappreciated type aspect within the tone as far as paying attention towards some of those because just nowadays everything kind of being more real time and more live action pitches like that. Not as much to say full bound live action, but just the pitch it just more within real time and kind of things kind of have more of like reality check type fair pitches like that. I mean, you do get games like Resident Evil and some of those type pitches and like Grand Theft Auto pitch like that, but just kind of with an aspect, just throwback type vibes to anime type senses pitch like that, like the Dragon Ball series or Castlevania, some stuff. There's just good type pitches with some of those aspects, good pitches there. Speaking of Resident Evil, it's a hit type one. It's Resident Evil 2. So it's good type pitches here. It's interesting that they put this out for the Xbox One as far as these physics games. So it's a good revamp to kind of get within these products here as far as these pitches kind of go. This is a classic type game now. I've definitely watched like bits and pieces. I played like the initial opening moments and fairs like that. Some of the initial type product moments of Resident Evil for like the PlayStation Classic. Good, excellent type game pitches like that. It's kind of aspects for us saying definitely some blistering type varieties. I know within more or less type commonplaces about Resident Evil 4, I've fucked with these in like mild type senses, but kind of pitch as far as saying just some good excellent type product. Within the fair as to how these particular fairs going to happen just went kind of within the pitch of just mostly fucking with like the Halo series and just getting towards the product, just getting tore up pitch like that, and obviously music type fair sense type pitch. So the aspect of like the PlayStation 2 type fair, there's certain aspects that have some of that type variety, but this kind of pitch of this, these are some banging type ones that probably need a lot more attention. I should have paid more attention to back within these particular fairs. But it's good blistering as far as these fairs. I'm paying attention to like the heat of it here. Good classic kind of horror thriller pitches like that. And obviously the movies are pretty wicked as well within those pitches. Good action fair pitches like that. Some good nice varieties here on top of those Sonic Frontiers as far as these pitch can have. So it's good nice fair to get Sonic type games pitched like that. And obviously, I'm guessing within these pitches that the speed factor is probably pretty wicked within these aspects. Good classic that I saw Larry the Batman talk about with one of his videos was when he was talking about the Dreamcast type fair. So that pitches of paying attention and him liking the Sonic Adventure games, which are definitely pretty wicked within these aspects. If this particular game has the same flair and speed, so like those particular games from those back in those days, I definitely say this is definitely a step in the right direction as far as these first games. Just very blisteriness, just that sort of craziness that Sonic's kind of this that's part of him as far as those first games. So just kind of pitch about that. Some good nice product to be able to get towards some of these type ones. So just some good banginess. And then the next one here is another hitting type one. I have some of these type games for the Xbox 360 pitch like that. Good type varieties here. This is Battlefield 5 as far as this pitch count. This is pretty good banging type series. This is like the closest thing for varieties within the aspect. If you can't get enough like the Halo series and to certain extents on top of that, also like the hit series Call of Duty within those type aspects. Definitely has more similarities to Call of Duty than Halo, but it's just good action varieties. So these are some of these type ones I'd probably recommend within these pitches. Yes. If Halo 5 and Halo Infinite, some of those type fairs are starting to get boring pitches like that. And same thing with Call of Duty, the Black Ops games, and some of those type ones that the Call of Duty games have put out. It's kind of a good, nice pitch to kind of continue that variety. The fair about some of these type ones, from what I remember, I don't remember it's full bound, but I think it's as easy to die in Battlefield as it is. I played like a little bit of like the Xbox Live kind of multiplayer with Battlefield a couple of times, pitches like that. I did. The thing is like the ones from like 2011 or 2012 that I own some of the pitches, but it's kind of various for saying like the problem with Call of Duty, if you play Halo enough pitches like that, you die pretty much instantly. You die pretty much like instantly in Call of Duty. So it's just kind of fair. You just don't get like the same hit ratio. You make a mistake in Call of Duty, you're starting over with some of those type pitches. Kind of the same fair within some of these type ones from what I remember. But good action pitch, good blistering type game within pitch like that makes me question how many players it has. Yeah, this is crazy with like the multiplayer type there. You can play with up to 64 people. So that's definitely pretty wicked within those aspects. That would definitely be very engaging to me. I prefer to play with more people within those aspects. With when talking about the Halo type fair, usually the sort of folks within those aspects, when I would play Halo with some of those type aspects, most people preferred to just play 4 versus 4 or less than that. But I definitely prefer the 16 player type mode. I actually found myself more often than not wanting more than 16 players. Nowadays, there's no excuse for Halo not to have like 24 or something like that within those sorts of pitches. But 64 is definitely pretty blistering. It's good accent fair within those pitches. That's definitely like an actual Battlefield pitch like that. So good accent varieties, good pitch like that, but a good banging type game. Just being able to say that. So that's part three with these pitches, like the gifts that Larry the Batman fan, like the gifts that Larry the Batman fan got from me, pitch like that. There are more of these in route within since the pitch. So I just would say stay tuned with some of these type aspects. Definitely keep checking the miscellaneous playlist, some of these type fairs, and just the feed on like the main page of my channel, pitch like that. Some surprise, but just the aspects as far as saying blistering type ones, part 4, part 5. Some of these further type ones are hitting. Some of these further type ones are coming with an aspect. We definitely got further type hitting type ones to get to pitch like that.